Off now, aren't we?
We are. Happy New Year. Bye.
David Attenborough presents An Extraordinary Journey, celebrating some of the most spectacular wildlife sights the natural world has to offer. The greatest wildlife show on Earth. New Year's Day on BBC One. It's the biggest moment of your life.
I'm arriving at this wedding in style if it's the last thing I do.
The dawn of a new beginning.
Don't tell me you've changed your mind.
A day you'll always remember.
You told me you could drive, you little toe rag.
2 special episodes of EastEnders are a marriage made in heaven.
What if I'm making a terrible mistake?
EastEnders, New Year's Eve at 5:30 and 8 on BBC One.
I'm telling you, I'm going to make this day to remember.
Beginning a remarkable journey through time to celebrate the millennium. This is BBC One at the start of the biggest live broadcast ever. 2000 Today is introduced by David Dimbleby.
Hello from Greenwich and welcome to BBC's One 2000 Today. Over the next 28 hours, as the Earth spins on its axis, we're going to be following the sun setting on the old millennium and rising on the new. And the clock here at Greenwich is already ticking away the final minutes and seconds to the new century. 14 hours, 44 minutes, 22, 21, 20 seconds and counting. And we're here at Greenwich because this is the universally acknowledged home of time. It's based on this line, an imaginary line, but actually you can see it on the pavement here, 0 degrees longitude, where east meets west. In international law, the new year 2000 doesn't actually officially begin until it begins here, which doesn't of course mean other places don't celebrate it at their own midnights, far from it. In only 3/4 of an hour from now, the tiny uninhabited Millennium Island at the east of Kiribati in the Pacific, over 8,000 miles away from here, is going to be the first to say goodbye 1999 and a few hours later to welcome the first sunrise of the year 2000. We're going to be there as BBC One joins 60 other countries, all celebrating the dawn of a new century. Our journey is going to take us from Beijing to Moscow, from Sydney to Los Angeles. We're going to be in India, in South America, in Africa, Australasia. We're going to be in Antarctica. And of course, here in these islands, we'll see Britons from the North Sea to the Atlantic Ocean as they take part in all the reunions, the parties, the celebrations, and the commemorations of the past 100 years. And as midnight approaches, we're going to be over there, down at the Millennium Dome. The Queen will be arriving there by river after lighting a Millennium Beacon. The Archbishop of Canterbury and the Prime Minister will be there too, as with 12,000 guests, if they all get their tickets in time, they join the countdown and the music and the partying that leads up to midnight. And as Big Ben strikes 12, a spectacular river of fire will streak up the Thames from Tower Bridge to Westminster, moving at nearly 700 miles an hour. The speed the Earth itself turns and the time moves across the globe. And that's only the start of it. There's lots more. And to hear about it, we join Michael Parkinson in the 2000 Today studio. Michael.
David, thank you. Welcome to BBC Television Centre here in London for 2000 Today. This is the last programme on BBC One before the start of the year 2000. And when we go off the air tomorrow afternoon, we'll be halfway into the first day of the next 1,000 years. 2000 Today is the biggest and the most ambitious television programme ever made, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There are celebrations going on all around the world, all at different times, and we're going to be there. Over 60 countries are taking part. We estimate that we'll have an audience worldwide of over 1 billion people. We'll be starting in the tiny, uninhabited South Pacific island of Kiribati, where it'll be midnight in just under an hour when it's 10 o'clock here. And we'll finish 28 hours later in Samoa. We'll be seeing the setting of the sun and its rising across the world as 1999 becomes 2000. Quite simply, we'll witness the sun set on one millennium and rise on another right across this planet of ours. Now, in the studio with me, because I'm not doing all this by myself, of course, is Gabby Roslin. Gabby, good morning.
Good morning.
Big day.
Big day, raring to go.
And for you too, because you're going to do the silly thing and stay in the studio for the entire 30 hours.
Yes, I've got a rolled up little sleeping bag under here that nobody can see.
What are you going to do, catnap?
Under the table.
Peter Sissons is with us too, of course. A big day ahead, Peter.
Oh, the biggest global party you or I will ever see or report on. Huge potential for unpredictable events. Much of it is predictable as the sun shadow sweeps across the earth. But unpredictability at this time of the year is par for the course. Big news events usually happen. Indeed, we've got the first of them already. We're getting reports from Moscow that Boris Yeltsin, the president, has resigned. The president of Russia has resigned and handed power to Vladimir Putin. So BBC News will be bringing you regular updates on all this and more during the day from the Millennium News Desk here in the studio. And I'll be doing the first shift. And, of course, the big running story, I suppose, apart from the President Yeltsin's story, of course, will be the Millennium Bug. There's much speculation about that. It's been hyped for so long, we'll find out whether it's going to be a non-event or really has the potential to inflict catastrophe. Peter, thank you. Well, to put it all in the scientific and historical context, we've got the team from Tomorrow's World, Peter Snow and Philippa Forrester. Peter.
Yes, Mike, we'll be telling the story of time, yesterday, today and tomorrow, and I'll be watching its passage around the world over the next 24 hours as the sun rises on the new millennium. We'll be taking a Tomorrow's World look at the technology we can expect to see in the years ahead too. And has yesterday's technology landed us with a disaster? The Millennium Bug. We'll see if it bites tonight. Philippa's at the home of Time itself in Greenwich.
Yeah, I'll be here in Greenwich finding out why this place has a unique claim to be the centre of the big event, why this spot is the basis for the actual meridian line for the whole world, and we'll be looking at the clocks that finally allowed us to conquer time.
This is an amazing studio. It operates on many levels, and up there in the crow's nest with an overview of the world, we've got Fergal Keane. Fergal, good morning.
Thanks, Michael. Good morning and a huge millennial welcome from up here in the crow's nest. Now, over the next 28 hours, television images from 60 countries around the world will be flooding in here to TV Centre. And our job up here in the crow's nest is to sift through them and bring the very best of it to you. So I'll be talking to you again soon. Michael.
And finally, just in case everything else goes down, we can always fall back on the familiar disembodied voice of Alan Dedicoat. Are you there, Alan?
I am indeed, Michael. I'm actually in the nerve centre of the whole thing, surrounded by computers this morning. I've got uplinks, downlinks, a couple of lottery draws to do either side of midnight. It's all here, in fact, and I'm particularly looking forward to a highlight dear to your heart, Michael, Barnsley's Canal of Fire.
It's always on fire, Alan. Putting it out will be the problem.
Indeed, indeed.
What's he look like, Alan Dedicoat? And we'll be meeting with hundreds of other guests here in the studio and, of course, millions worldwide.
Now, our schedule is completely dictated by time. Unlike a football match, which can be delayed, or a recorded programme which can be transmitted at a different time, we cannot alter the fact of the movement of the planet. So 2000 Today consists of a series of deadlines which we have to meet, starting with that first midnight on Kiribati in the South Pacific and that big midnight celebration in Sydney at 1 o'clock our time. After that, we'll be tracking the midnight line across Asia and Europe as it approaches the UK. After that, we'll follow the celebrations as they start across the Atlantic in America, and then we'll see the sunrise on the new millennium.
I think Sydney might be one of the great highlights. It's spectacular. I'd love to be there. I know I'm here, yes, I know, stuck here. Britain in 1999 has been remarkable for many things, and one of the most striking is the way centuries of English domination have come to an end. We've got a Scottish Parliament, a Welsh Assembly, and most recently, and perhaps most welcome of all, real signs of peace in Northern Ireland. This will be the first time these nations have seen in the new year with this newly re-established autonomy. So there really is something special to celebrate, as we'll see during the course of the next 28 hours. Let's go first of all to Tim Vincent in Cardiff. Tim?
Hello and welcome to Cardiff, Europe's fastest growing city. We have a tremendous amount to be proud of and to celebrate here.